Good morning, everybody. I'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Take a motion to approve the agenda in the minutes.
So moved.
For a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Aye. Rich Brown, good morning.
Morning, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. Say, just an update with the snow event we had. We had our cat dump truck broke down this morning. Got 105 east cleaned up, and then I don't know, I'm told the turbos are out, but I'm not sure if that's the case or not. It's not an old truck either, so it shouldn't be out. We were supposed to have gotten our Sterling back from Cat Friday, but we never got it back yet. So I think Lynn's out trying to plow with a motor grader on the hard surface, but we're splitting the routes up a little bit to try to cover more of that. Fortunately, with the warmer weather coming in, the roads will melt off quicker, but just giving an update on that. We're a little bit slow on that side with hard surface because of that, but we'll get caught up here. So sure you guys probably had phones ringing about yesterday's snow. I mean, hard to determine whether we should go out on a Saturday or Sunday or not, but
I've had
we got out at 4 this morning, so.
I've had several complaints this morning now since I talked to you, Rich. And I know when I left at 7 o'clock, there's roads that should have been plowed that weren't. And I suppose if we're down 2 trucks, that's part of the reason. But a couple complaints on 838, S10, and normally the guys have at least started to be on the gravels by 7 o'clock. In my area, out around, east of Joyce, they had done some west of Joyce. I guess they cleaned them up pretty well. But so I don't know what's going on over there, but.
And I checked, everybody was bailing out of the shops at 4, so I'm not quite sure what the holdup was unless Lynn's incident kind of slowed us down or not. I'll check on finding out why things were still not touched by 7, but.
Even at 8 o'clock, they hadn't been touched, so.
Okay.
I got a text me that was heading into work, and, our 430th wasn't done, his gravel road wasn't touched, and normally by 7 o'clock, they're starting to work their way back towards Joyce, in that area, and they didn't see anybody up in that area, so I don't know where they were at, but.
Okay. I'll check and find out why. I know that I checked the GPS tracking and people were pulling out of shops at 4, so.
Okay. Appreciate it.
I don't have anything else for you this morning that I can think of. The project on 105 is set for the letting, as we discussed. Get some questions on the plans are out to the contractors, so we're getting some questions to answer. So just kind of keep you updated on that project.
Rich, I
Yes.
had Ann Lau send me an email, and she'd like to know on the south and west side of her property, who's going to come in there and replace that high tensile electric fencing that she had that was tore out in order to take those trees out of there.
That's drainage.
That's drainage.
Yeah, I don't know anything about.
That's on
And
the
actually-
landowner.
Oh, that's the drainage district. Oh, yeah. I remember. I know who that person is now. Yeah, that's got nothing to do with secondary roads. They're on the high tensile wire. It should be part of the drainage district project, I would assume. I don't know what you guys have, but.
If it was in the easement, I think they gotta put it back themselves.
Yep,
Okay.
that's my understanding.
All right, anything
Unless
else?
there was a pre-agreement, between them and the contractor, but
Right. Anything else for Rich?
I don't know.
I'll stick around in case some questions come up.
All right, sounds good, thank you. Drainage, claims, stamp warrants.
Make a motion for the drainage claims.
All right, there's a motion to approve drainage claims. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Shall carry. Set date for completion here in DD 46, lat 9.
Got a letter from John and I guess it is substantially completed except for some trench leveling that'll be done in the spring as weather allows. I'll probably just call John and see when he can fit that in.
Okay.
Okay.
Is
Just
that
wanted to give you an update.
that way? Rugland?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
West of the casino there?
yep, somewhere.
Yeah, northwest. Okay, so. How much time do we need, or any time?
Hmm?
When do we wanna set that for, next week?
No,
No.
no,
Next
no.
month?
We got some stuff coming up that I'll just.
Okay.
I'm thinking March, as quick as we can get it done, but
Yep. Notification times and all that stuff.
yeah,
Okay.
I was just gonna chat with him and see what worked.
For them too, yeah,
Yeah,
sometime in the next 60 days.
yeah, pretty
Hopefully.
much.
Okay, sounds good. Claims,
Any
Yes.
questions?
look over the claims.
And now it's actually low.
Yeah.
Not bad thing for us. For once.
I didn't
Joel
touch
must
it.
not have spent any money.
I'm trying.
Motion to approve the claims.
All right, motion to approve claims, just a second.
I second motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Reports.
That's in wrong order today. No,
No reports. Payroll eligibility or salary changes,
nope,
liquor license,
nope,
send them to law enforcement.
yeah. Kensett and Grafton.
Kids at Grafton.
And for some reason, Grafton only gave us one. So.
Okay.
All right, this is just annual law enforcement agreements for Kensett and Grafton. Take a motion to approve the both of them.
I'll make a motion to approve both of them.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Gary. Yeah, upstairs. Chris, we'll jump down to you.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Well, things were going really good till last Wednesday.
Yeah. See that.
Mixer quit working. I don't know why. Other than last time was full of paint chips, so I'm assuming it's probably full of paint chips again. Typically when they thaw it out, it takes them about 40 minutes to bore through down with the hot water pressure. It took him like 5 minutes and it was through. Maybe not even 5 minutes. He was in there and all of a sudden he's out already. It's like, holy shit! I didn't even look at my watch, and
Right.
so it must have just froze Tuesday night, early
So it didn't-
Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I didn't get much time then.
No.
Um,
So we won't be able to pull it out till probably, May, late April, May, we'll pull it out and
so it's still currently not working then?
no.
Okay.
No. So I'm sure once the ice forms and it moves, it rips the wires out of the ceiling. They attach it, we have a junction up on the ceiling, and I'm sure it pulled them wires out. I don't guarantee it pulled out.
Sure. How often does that run? Does that?
That runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
No, the well, I mean, how often does it fill tower?
Depends on, it's really depending on how busy we are out there.
Yeah.
It runs only about 2 or 3 hours a day when it's quiet. Like the day that froze, the night before, because we're a day behind on well readings.
Yeah.
We only used 14,000, I think it was 14,000 gallons of water that day. Where we've been about 28 to 42, and it dropped off that far.
So what's that cycle? How many times does those pumps cycle then?
Just
To
Each
fill
pump
the
runs
tank?
once a day if it's quiet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can you adjust them to try to get them to run more often?
But yeah, we open up I haven't because we got the mixer.
Right.
In the years past, we always open up we lower the gap, but we open the gap, and we lower our high point, but then we open up our gap so they run longer.
Yep. Try to keep it
more,
circulating.
more warm water getting in there the best you can.
Sure.
So that's basically what I'm doing is I'm checking in the morning at about 6. And it's quiet, so if I need to drain some out to kick the well on, I'll do that. And then come back at 9 o'clock at night. And I'll drain it again to kick the well on. And so it runs, until midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
So keep
Trying to get that warm water up in
fresh
there.
water in there,
Yeah.
keep it moving. Okay. And
So
hopefully
it's
we'll
just
get,
a 4-inch borehole. That's all all they do is take a pressure washer line and take the wand off. They just lower it down in the ice, and each set of boards about a 4-inch hole in the ice.
that's thanks. At least now we're out of the cold spell. It's gonna warm up a little bit, so hopefully that'll help loosen things up, but. Yeah,
Late April, early May, we'll pull it out, send it in and see what's wrong with it. And hopefully we can get the tower painted this summer so we don't have that problem anymore.
oh, on the inside,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, we also, talked with Jason Petersburg a little bit last week too, and then, Mike from your office
Oh, I dare.
on the
Right.
rates, so I gotta get him a few numbers where Jason and I are looking at, what future projects we'd be looking at to kind of help establish our rates, but I think you guys have all the other info that he needed as far as how much we pump and how much
Yep.
usage and all that, so he was gonna get all that from the office, but, so we're looking at what it would take to run line out to that new tower.
Oh, okay.
If, the development takes off, we know what's gonna happen, so he's just gonna get us an estimate so that
Yep.
we can maybe plan that into the water rates a little bit.
Yeah. Plan on another mixer then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one's, it's 500,000, so that's gonna create more problems. Unless we grow it substantially.
yeah, and if we got to that point, we know we would have to use that blue tower anyways and go that route, but, so that's going.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit to do to that tower yet too. There's no valve or nothing underneath that. It's just I think the elbow is on the bottom of that pipe. And I think that's it.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think I know there's no valve on it,
Is it?
but I don't remember if there was even a 90 at the bottom of it.
It was sprayed though, inside already.
Yeah, it's all painted. Everything's painted. Yeah.
Cause I think we're gonna get that inspected this summer too.
Okay.
Just to see what condition that's in, because if we don't have that thing sit out there and rot away. And then when we do need it, it's no good,
Right.
cause that's a heck of an expense, something to utilize future. Or we could just sell it to you and then you could do what you want with it. How's that sound?
I don't know what I did with it. Well, they talked about moving it, but it was gonna cost them like 700,000 to move it. And they paid 800,000 to build it, so it was like,
Just gonna sit there now and.
can't sit there.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, we'll be getting together soon, and I know a couple of guys in your office will be joining us, I think, to meet with everybody out there and go over
Sure.
water rates and
Sure.
that kind of stuff, so we'll keep you in on that loop too, but I talked with Chris McMillan, and then, I think Steve Robinader might come up, or Heath might come up, just when we meet with those guys and discuss the rates, so.
Yep. And then, like I said, we're gonna put the pressure reducing valve in tomorrow. We got pushback. We were supposed to do it today. We'll do it tomorrow. So
So hopefully that'll help with our
water
water
hammer
hammer.
issue.
That'll take the air out of it, and relief out of it.
Yep.
Give us some safety.
Other than that, everything's been going. Was going really, really good until Wednesday.
Right. Cold weather will get you.
Yep.
So, okay. Anything else for Chris, guys?
Not today.
Okay, thank you.
If you ever want to come out and look at things, give me a holler. And
It's
don't wanna do it
interesting.
now, but if it's nice, they'll come on out. We'll take a tour.
It is interesting if you've never been through there.
Nope, I never have.
Yeah, take a peek, see how it kind of works. All right, jump back up to 13 there. Approval of Oxyent HRA buy-down plans.
This is your health insurance, the,
Third party.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And they're the ones that are just gonna pay the difference in the deductible, right?
Mhm.
So,
Well, we're paying it.
yeah, we're paying, but
They're doing
they're
the
gonna,
work.
they're gonna write
doing
the
the
check,
work.
so we don't have to
Yeah.
do all that stuff. We pay them to pay this, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Part of the-
So, just our agreement for the deductible. And,
There are three different deductibles.
Right.
750, 1,000, and 2,000. So it depends what insurance plan you got.
Right.
These guys, basically, we're paying these guys, and they're gonna pay the difference. They're gonna be like do our book work for us, paying the.
Between whatever their deductible is up to $5,000.
Yeah, and 10.
They're kept picking up that gap in there.
Yep.
Nothing was planned, so.
Yep, I sat in on that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. good, so.
So I will make a motion to approve the Auxient, is that how you say it?
Obviously, yeah.
HRA buy-down plans.
All right, there's a motion, there's a second.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye?
All right,
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carry. Alright. Okay, discussion on safety committee.
so we had a safety committee meeting this week, and IMWCA was on there with us, and they do have some training. They have their online university and stuff, and I don't know how well people are utilizing that, probably not as well as they should. We did come to the conclusion we're going to drop out of that Illinois safety thing because it's expensive, and IMWCA even said, really, it's not for us. So he was okay with us dropping out of that. It wasn't going to hurt us any, but one thing that we discussed, I don't know, Rich, you're still on there. Mark, I don't know if he's on there, but we were talking about maybe, NIACOG could do some of this too, but some kind of safety contract with somebody to do like quarterly, monthly or quarterly type of training sessions, and actually get a firm in here maybe that would do walkthroughs and all. We're kind of picking on secondary roads here, Rich, but even, it'd be everybody, it'd be all departments where maybe they'd walk around and see things that need to be addressed and things like that. And
Well, and they should walk through every building.
Yeah.
And they could,
look at the departments. I mean, there's things that you guys could probably do better for your long-term comfort and health too. Just like, safety out there in the shops, definitely it's more power tools and lifting
Right.
and things like that. But, and so we talked about, hiring some kind of firm to do that. And I don't know if anybody knows of anything, and they're going to send us some recommendations. I think IMWCA has a little bit, and some things they're supposed to be sending our way.
don't know if we fit in that category, but I know it's the Iowa Association of Municipal Utilities.
Okay.
That's who St. Ansgar has, right?
Yep.
They come in, is it monthly or is it
Yeah, they do monthly stuff.
monthly? They have a gal come in and go through training stuff with their employees monthly, like 2 hours every month. And then I think they just did a walkthrough last week of all the
Okay.
buildings.
Point things out.
Yep, seen any safety, possibilities or whatever, if something's unsafe and, housekeeping, whatever else needs to be straightened out. But I don't know if we'd fall into that category since we're not a municipality.
Right.
And I don't know if there's a,
Cause they pay dues to that, kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, do with ISAC, kind of, there's
That's-
ISAC to the communities.
yeah,
Communities.
that's, I didn't know. So nothing, ISAC doesn't have anything
Yeah.
that anybody knows of or.
No.
Or maybe if you reached out to other counties to see what they do for secondary roads
Yep.
and safety and all that
Yep.
stuff.
Right.
We did some digging here too. So Russ has been talking about, I don't know, Jim Moody was somebody that we had used before. I don't know if that name rings a bell to anybody, but he does some training stuff too. So we've been looking at other locations as well, kind of finding who could do stuff for us.
Well, he's the one that does NIACOG, right?
That's what I was.
I think he's the one that does NIACOG, but just wondering if there's, I mean, the thing is if we're paying NIACOG, let's find out what else we can get from them or find out if we can do things a little different.
I would, yeah, because I know he's the one that does NIACOG because he actually had made a visit in Manly before too.
Okay.
Manly was a part of that, city was, but I guess, yeah, I would try to see if contact him or contact NIACOG and see about doing quarterly with him then.
Yep.
As well as the,
Use ISAC University, use everything we can utilize. And then we needed to address too, we talked about this, the, employee accountability and getting these people back to work,
Yeah.
We need to figure that out. And if they do make a mistake and, it's their fault by not following safety rules, which was part of all the training we're going to have to start implementing somewhere or another, I think, they're could be written up and, there's
That
gonna be some
documentation
consequences.
is gonna be.
A lot-
Documentation is huge, yeah.
And that boils down to policy. If we have a policy to follow, then we have a way to discipline. If we don't have a policy to discipline them from, then it's hard to discipline. So, and we do have a vague policy, but we should probably update it and get it more detailed.
Right, and that's something we need to probably sit down and do. I don't know if it'd be strictly up to the safety committee, to do that, or we really need an HR person involved in this too. So
Wow.
whether we work with Renee more or we work harder at getting a human resource person here that we work with full time somehow or another.
Right. And I think too, along with safety, the wellness is an issue. So if we're gonna do policy, let's do like a safety and wellness policy in one.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because that kind of all does work together. It's not just safety on the job force or the on the job stuff, but it's also the wellness of getting annual physicals, annual checkups.
It goes together.
It kind of all does go together because that annual stuff you're doing there, whatever, kind of filters into that of trying to be healthy as well. So.
Well, yeah, and I sometimes think the makeup of that safety committee needs to change a little bit. We do need some people, somebody that's a little more up on wellness and things like that to be on that committee. Too. And,
Right.
Whether it be somebody from public health or whatever, that has more knowledge of some of this than we do, would not be a bad situation to do.
And they've had work comp issues too in the past, so.
Yep.
They do lifting and stuff like that.
Yep.
But
So I'm guessing as the safety committee, we'll be addressing that more. We're gonna try to get back to our every other month meetings. We've kind of been lacking with the COVID last year. And, we're gonna have to probably start addressing some of that, but yeah, we're gonna need to get Renee probably involved at least so we can, whatever we do, we can't be disciplined employees and not doing it right, and everything needs to be dotted and crossed when we do this, so.
Right.
But that's one thing I wanted to bring up, something that if we need to take action on for approval, there would be no budget line item for something like that probably, but truthfully, it would have to come from all departments. Everybody would have to share in this. This is a countywide thing. It's not just secondary roads, not just the sheriffs, it's everybody.
Yeah.
Whether you slip on the ice outside or fall on the steps or pick up a box of papers wrong, it's everybody, so.
No, very true.
So it's something we're gonna have to be looking at. Even the budget time might be something we want to discuss and slide in, or, everybody needs to put a little small line item in for that to help with these costs, so.
I 100% agree. Like I said, it would need to be countywide. Everybody needs to be treated the same on it.
Yep.
Even though job titles and descriptions are different, it's still.
Well, and we don't all have job descriptions either, and that's
Right.
part of the issue.
Yeah, we need to get a good HR person, I think, and whether it costs us a couple, whatever, I think we need to get a good HR person to write those policies for us.
I know the county I was just at last week, they do theirs every 3 to 5 years. They review all the jobs.
And I would imagine most businesses do. I'm guessing, I'm not
And
an
they have
HR person.
performance reviews too, I think.
That would definitely be something to think about, so.
Okay.
So sometime or another, we want to work that discussion into this if we can,
And money is one thing, but then where do you put them? Who do they answer to?
Yeah.
And there's all kinds of,
We got all kinds of
who
issues.
hires them?
Yeah,
Who? Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
yeah, it's kind of hard to hire somebody with an HR degree when you don't have one yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't feel qualified to hire somebody.
Right.
So things we need to be addressing here, so.
Okay. Planning for.
Yep.
Okay.
So I just want to bring that up, so.
Nope.
Thanks.
I 100% agree, so. Discussion regarding the TIF resolution 2018.12.31. I did get some info on the process of that. There we go. Find it here. Um, so basically on a resolution, this is a statement of policy that has an impact beyond the immediate circumstances, which is best preserved in written form. Some occasions a resolution is required by statute, but ordinances that deal with issues countywide concerned are continued in full force until repealed. Passage of an ordinance, we know what that takes. And it takes the same thing to repeal the ordinance. So with let's see. So with the resolution, you can, the way I understand it is, there's three ways to exercise power. That's a resolution, an amendment, or an ordinance. And then if we were to amend that or resolution or repeal the ordinance, you would go through, basically you would scrap the or the resolution and rewrite it as you wanted it. So it would be amended. It would just take on a new date, new everything, but it would be kind of classified as the same. And then an ordinance would be public hearings in the whole 9 yards to repeal the ordinance. And that's all on new county officers. That's in the new county officers manual. I got from Christie down at ISAC. So, going back as we talked last week, is that something we want to do? Just for the fact of, are we gonna handcuff ourselves with these specified numbers? And that's what my fear is that we are gonna handcuff ourselves and we're not gonna be able to proceed with projects we want to, due to the fact that these numbers are locking us in. I do agree that a lot of the ordinance can stay this, or the resolution can stay the same. I don't think the ordinance should be there. And we can always come back and write a new ordinance or re-amend it, however, but it shouldn't allow anybody anything, any free shot against zoning. The zoning's there, it's there for a reason. I know it's only a portion of the county, but it shouldn't become a free-for-all. If the county would decide to go with zoning across the whole county, then it does make it fair to me. But I don't think that should allow any more of a free-for-all than what's going on now. So with that, I mean, the question is to remove this resolution or rewrite this resolution for the TIF revenue, keep that in place, eliminate the numbers, eliminate those percentages, keep the 4 categories. If we're doing our job and we're doing it like we should, we're going to do the right thing with the money. I don't think we have to have specific numbers have to tell us that. We know what it's going to go to. We know what it needs to go to. We know it needs to go to roads and bridges. We know that. So that allows us to open it up and put the right amount of money in the proper places. What are your guys' thoughts?
I guess my attitude on it is, by leaving it the way it is right now, we not only hamstring this board, we hamstring all the boards down the road. And we should be able to figure out where we want to spend the money and where we know where it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And if a project's already done and it's up to date, we don't need to save money back for that project.
Correct.
I think we should repeal the whole resolution and start over.
Okay.
I like the categories.
Yeah.
I just don't
I
like
do
the
too.
percentages in there at all.
Yep, I do too.
I don't really like the fact of, that we're only dealing with 65% of it, you know? We got another 35% that's just going in the general budget, I take it.
Mm-mm.
Or where's that going?
Well,
That just kind of hangs back and we're able to use it, but I think 65% is just a comfortable number that that they recommend you stay at, using those dollars, so there is room if there ever was an emergency.
An
or if
emergency
there's
down the road.
You know, then you still have got options to be able to utilize that, but it just puts you, it's like that, you go to a bank, it's like your debt ratio thing. You don't want to go over this number, this is a safe number, so try to stay there. You can probably get away with it, but you try to stay there.
Some do more.
Yep.
Jeff Kyle has said 70 before, I
Yeah,
remember.
we're
I was
not
saying
near that.
65 is too low.
Right.
We're only at about 35. 40.
But I think that's just kind of a guideline, a good basis to stay at. But
I don't like being locked into the percentages.
Okay.
We should be able as a board to figure out, hey, we need a courthouse
mhm,
or whatever. We need this or we need that. I do like the categories.
right. Yep. They're going to the right places, but it's just, are we gonna handcuff ourselves?
So yeah, I think we ought to repeal the resolution.
Yeah, I think you can do it more simple on that, but then I could be wrong. I mean, you can eliminate that just by a simple amendment. You can take away those percentages
Jeff's got into this last week and said,
with a resolution.
yeah, he said an amendment, to do an amendment is to redo the resolution. Remember that conversation?
Yeah.
Well, you'd only be changing the wording on the percentages. That's all you'd be changing.
Yeah. And it would be that, what it does, it takes that date, that number away, and we would start with a new one when it's
Right.
approved. That would be the new date, and we'd still have
Yeah.
the guidelines wrote out the same and just eliminate.
But he said with an amendment, you're just basically writing a new resolution.
Mhm.
Well, you're rewriting that portion of it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there is not a whole lot to it. That's really the whole gist of the thing anyway.
Right.
Is the percentages.
Yeah,
And that's just to cover,
but like I say, it just, that also it would be updating that you would eliminate that number, that resolution from anything. You would have a new number stated on the date of approval of how that's gonna get spent out, basically.
Broke into categories without putting numbers on the categories.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, if that's the case, then I think once Jeff gets back, he's on vacation this week, correct?
Yes, she's going till Thursday.
Mhm.
I can talk with him when he gets back and we'll figure out the process to, basically repeal and revamp that resolution. And bring to the board hopefully within the next few weeks. Anything else on that? Okay. Application for tax abatement, Worth County Logistics Park and Urban Revitalization Renewal for Sukup.
Oh, Melissa has her hand up. I've never seen that before.
What's that?
Melissa has her hand
Oh,
up.
she does, yeah.
Hey, Melissa,
you
I
can
should be
wait.
watching.
Good morning. There was just a little error on that, and I just emailed it to Jackie again about 10 minutes ago. They just forgot to put the complete current value on it, so it shouldn't hamper.
but otherwise they've got everything filled out and
You bet.
for Nyakog, right?
Oh, I don't have a resolution either, because it says a resolution number.
Hmm.
Who writes up the resolution
That
for
was-
that? Or is
That's-
are you
that's the
referring to
resolution we already
resolution
did.
you already did?
Yep,
Okay.
that should be the resolution we already did. This is just an application allowing that project.
Okay.
Right, we did the resolution.
Yeah, we did that as part of our process to get to that. Yep. So,
Now we just need an approval of the application.
okay.
Yeah, that's what we were waiting for.
Right, yeah, because, and that's just, as part of the process, we have to have that. So if somebody else wants to come in and utilize this same type of funding, then they can go through this application process and because it's more of it'll always be a project specific thing. So every person will submit the application every time.
Yep.
So
Makes sense, no?
Guess you just need to
Everything
approve
look
it if you
kosher?
wanna approve it then.
Okay, need a motion to approve the application for tax abatement for, Suka Manufacturing at the Worth County Logistics Board.
I will make that a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right, motion is second. Any other discussion?
Just the fact that we'll still have to choose how they're gonna do the tax payment, that's right, isn't it?
They chose
They chose, did they choose?
What'd they choose?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years, okay. Because it's, when we built that, it was
Yeah.
2 options.
Right.
So
Either
it's
the 10 or
basically,
the 3.
if they
Yeah.
wanted to go the 10 years, that would maybe have gained them a little more, just would have been, we
Right,
would have to schedule it. This way, it's just easy. Assessor's office says 0 for 3 years and
okay,
done.
good, okay, that's all I had.
Okay, so motion is second. I'll take a roll call vote on this, maybe.
All right,
Lowberg,
Aye.
Stone, aye. That motion will pass, and Sukup will reap some benefits from us and the state on their new project, which is good. Melissa, while you're there, did you have anything else?
A couple things. I just sent you guys an email and it was just sent to me on Saturday, so I haven't read through it. It's a House study bill and it's affecting how TIF is going to be processed in the future. Like I said, I haven't researched it much, but you might want to read through it. And I just forwarded it to you, so I'll look at it today.
but they're piggybacking TIF on top of the House study bill then or something?
From what I understand from so far, this bill, if passed, it will reduce the existing lifetime of existing perpetual TIF districts, and it'll really limit economic developers you having a tool to entice business to come. But like I said, I haven't even looked at it yet. I'm going to research it today, and there's some links in that email if you want to look through it. Jane is on the House Ways and Means Committee, so she would be a good person to contact about that.
Okay, I'll read it when I see it there,
Yeah.
because some of those had no sunsets or something like that, you know, and there's.
And now they will.
City of Northwood is goes on
Lake
forever.
Mills has one, and yeah, they go on forever and ever,
Right.
and they wanted to eliminate that, I'm pretty sure, for.
Well, I hope that's it, but who knows with
Right. Hopefully
legislation.
not. Yeah.
Well, as long as it don't go way over the rainbow, you know, that's usually what happens,
Right.
and they gotta bring it back.
I thought they were too busy. Auditors.
Yeah.
Hey, Melissa,
Also, oops, sorry, one other thing. The Papa
did you not
John's,
email me too, Melissa? This is Cindy.
You send
oh,
that to-
yep, I can send it to you.
Thank you. What's next?
The Papa John Center has given me some photography stuff to try out for Shop Iowa. And so I'd like to ask the board to come and we can get some photos of like a professional photo done of just you for our website page. And then because it's given, or not, it's not given to me, or I'm loaning it out from the Papa John Center. If anybody else needs their profile picture updated for professionally wise in the county, feel free to give me a holler. They sent me 3 different backdrops, full lighting supply. It's kind of cool. So I'm gonna set it up here and try to get some headshots of county employees.
Okay,
I suppose we'll participate.
Suit and tie time.
There's a nice filter on
I
that.
was gonna say,
But if anybody in the county is interested, just shoot me an email or give me a call. Make sure that I'm here and that my camera is here before you head over.
yeah, just let us know.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Highway 105, I-35 interchange, the deed to Diamond Joe Casino.
Oh,
Did it come, or
no, it didn't.
Jeff didn't?
No, it's gonna be when he gets back.
When he gets back,
And
Okay.
I was thinking.
I thought, I know he's
I thought
gonna try to get it, he was
done,
gonna
but-
try to get it done before he left, he
Yeah,
said.
unless not.
That's not,
Okay.
gosh knows.
I'm pretty sure it didn't.
Okay.
That's fine. We're still bounds.
Oh, he didn't see it. I didn't see it, an email from him.
No, I didn't
you know,
either.
So,
And we're still bounds and leaps faster than those guys, so.
yeah. Just be nice to get it done.
Yep. We're still waiting on the road vacation. Was Jason on there this morning?
I didn't see him.
So,
I met with him Friday and just discussing the water rate stuff out there. He's gonna compile some estimates to connect that water tower and possibly, maybe some idea of a water plant, if we ever had to go to a different water plant there as well, but just rough estimates.
Back up for a sec.
Yeah.
He said we are going to need to do a resolution, public hearing, and a resolution or ordinance approving the deed, so he'll get back to you when he gets back from Vegas.
Okay.
Sorry I had that.
Nope, that's fine, thank you.
No.
Just clarification.
Get one email a day.
Yeah.
So anyways, he's gonna work on that, and they're going to, when they come up to settle the property pins for the new development, they're also going to GPS our water and wastewater system,
Oh, okay, good.
so we can get accurate maps and digital, 100% digital. So what we can do is, like, so once the snow is gone, we can shoot all the manholes, shoot all the valves, shoot all the hydrants, get stuff GPSed in.
Yeah.
And I talked with Joel, and we're gonna get layers to it so that the county will always have access to it as a layer on our GIS mapping. So you guys would have access, you could go in there, you could click it, light it up, and then we would be precise with where everything is
That'd
at.
be nice.
Since they're doing the other, they're gonna do this as part of that. But that would just, cause there's some stuff that's changed over the years and moved, and our mapping is already turning into a normal city where, okay, we got maps from this project, this project, this project, this project, but we don't have it all together.
Yep.
And in between then, things have changed. You go to any city around, they're all the same way. So it's nice, grab a hold of it now, and then future, as things go on, it's easy just to come in and GPS one or two items at a time and then add it to it. So, but Joey, we got the capability to,
We took Northwood's books quite a while ago. I mean, it was all hand-drawn stuff, and digitized those, and then they have access through our Pictometry Connect to that data.
okay.
Yeah, so I figured that'll probably be the same way. That way we can, if somebody needs that information, we can just put it on Pictometry Connect and give them a Connect account. So
Give them account, and I say it just on a tablet, on anything, you can pop it up, and there it is. And,
once the data is captured, yeah, that makes life a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
right.
Just give me information.
Yeah.
Yep. So they're gonna work on that too, and then on the water study. So we'll get everything going out there. Hopefully, when the weather comes around, because they already know they've got all the as-built plans on the new development, so they know where all the connections, all the taps, everything's at there. Like I say, they're just gonna do lot bins and then do the existing system as well. So that will benefit us in the future. He says he can do it in like a day, so should work out really good.
Yeah, because we're small, and there's not a lot of points to pick up.
No,
There's
no,
like 18 valves and
yeah,
12 hydrants and
right.
As long as the metadata is on those points, so that's the big thing, is capture the point, but then also get me the metadata on it. Was it a valve? What type of valve?
Yeah.
Yeah, those kind of things.
Yeah, well, there's manhole.
Yep.
So you can itemize manhole, main valve, whatever, yep. All right. Department head discussion. Anybody got anything going on?
Non-COVID, I do. So CISA, which is the federal cybersecurity folks with Homeland Security, we have been asked by the Secretary of State's office, when one of their rules, to be pen tested, which is the penetration testing.
Oh.
So remotely they will, so we've reached out to CISA, and they're going to probably do that evaluation between middle of March to middle of April is when they're going to be doing that pen testing. So we'll have the results back by that. What basically is they sit outside our firewall and they try to bust in and see if they can get to us. So, and then let us know what stopped them and what didn't stop them. So
Cool. Yeah. Good.
Hopefully they don't break stuff.
Yeah.
It'll cause us more grief.
a little bit to that. You heard about the water plant that got broke into. We're not hooked to the internet with our water plant, so we don't have a issue there. Just for your information, we're not on the line with that water plant.
Off the grid.
You're off the grid.
Not a bad thing sometimes.
Like, that's a major issue that I'm surprised that hasn't happened already. So
Oh,
that'll
it
change
has.
a whole lot of things
Those things have happened.
in our industry, big time.
Especially with the SCADA systems.
Yeah, and every town that's more and more.
Teresa had a question on the meeting. Yes, meeting's still on for 1 o'clock today.
Is that 12:45 or 1 o'clock?
Well, I just did it a little early in case anybody needed to get in.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, and I think that's a Zoom option, so.
Hey, AJ?
Yeah.
Do you want me
Just,
to run that Zoom?
oh, I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
Just to put something out there on the radar it's happening in a few counties right now when it comes to wind turbines. And we're actually, the Iowa Association of Assessors is getting a committee together to really investigate this. But when you've got these wind turbines out there and when they refurbish in a major matter, right now, we're not getting much guidance on how to proceed with that. Right now, assessors, it's up to the assessors and substantial. Well, what does substantial mean? 50%, 60% when they come across. We're under the assumption that eventually they're gonna come in our county because some of them are getting old and they're gonna do a mass improvement.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if that happens and it is substantial, then that's gonna roll over and they're gonna start off at that 0% again. So we're thinking it's gonna be in their benefit. They're gonna try to make it so it's substantial, so they start over to get that tax break again at 0%, which would affect what we've got going on because they wouldn't be at 30%. So it's just something we are trying to get our grip around, and just I wanted to put it on the radar as you hear scuttlebutt that, that does affect values and,
Depends on how many years you would be into the,
yeah. Well, we're at 30% with all of them now.
right,
So if they come in and
full.
refurbish and it's substantial,
full as
which
they get.
there's no clarification from the state yet, and that's a committee together to really study this, because it's gonna happen to us sooner or later.
A lot of
So,
places, yeah.
So,
Okay,
just wanted it on the radar.
that's good to know. And I think Jason was needing lots or something from you. I'll find out.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
From
on
a
that.
casino.
From
Because
all
we
the
need, well, he
casino
wants
as well,
lots
yeah.
until we get legal descriptions.
Yeah, that's what it was, legal.
Yeah, and so
storage.
that would be something Jeff would probably work with Jackie on. I'm not sure, to actually come up with the legal descriptions. I don't know if they've been surveyed or what to get
Oh, it
that
should
legal
be.
description.
Everything's.
It should be all mapped out. Hey, you should even
Yeah,
have.
the only thing that's not been done is they haven't physically went out and set the property pins because they wanted all the construction to be done because they would just get run over and ripped out and whatever.
So all we have is, as a whole, we don't have the legals for the lots.
For the lots.
So that's what we
You need
need
legals for lots.
in order to set up a parcel for it.
Okay. We'll run that past Jeff too when he gets back then.
And until the assessor's office gets that done, then I can't do my stuff.
You can't do
Right.
yours, yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's the flow on that.
That's the chain of command there.
I'm the bottom.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You like me the bottom, Joel?
You bet.
All right, any other department heads have anything else? Jim Hanson, you on there? Are you busy?
I'm here.
I know you and I had discussed the Shell Rock River watershed appointment.
Correct.
Does it matter to you if I'm delegate or alternate, or you're delegate or alternate?
It makes no difference to me. I think that I am considered the alternate probably for the Cedar River one. And so it doesn't matter if I'm the delegate or the alternate, but I think, I'll be-
Most likely, as this gets going, we'll probably both be involved. Going to the meetings or whatever, so. Okay, I'll do delegate then, and you can do alternate. Sorry, I'm gonna flip flop that.
no, that's just fine with me.
Okay. And obviously, we'll both, like I say, both be a part of it and getting it going, so.
I know that the county soil and water district, they did approve a delegate and an alternate as well, so.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So would somebody like to make that motion as me as the delegate and Jim Hansen as the alternate for the Shell Rock River watershed?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second
Okay, so motion is second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
it.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Still waiting for answers on our Board of Adjustment, so leave that one hanging there for now. Supervisor Weekly, Enos.
I had the second half of the Partners for Children, and we did we scored the trauma-informed care through the request for proposal, and a few other things. On Friday, of course, we all went to the old Winnebago Hancock Worth Social Services meeting that's now gonna be, from our change, March 1st. We're going with Northwest Iowa Care Connections, and we kind of got introduced to the CEO and all of that, and got a history from before and what's going on in the present.
Do you want to rattle off what Sandy told you?
Yeah.
No, I'll pass on that. I'll leave that one up to you, Mark.
And he gives 40 years of good history on the
Yeah.
old mental health thing.
And then Saturday, I went to the forum with Jane Bloomingdale and Wayne Brown, and they talked about a lot of stuff to do with the cities, childcare, things that were in Des Moines. One of the things that I wanted to go there about was Cindy brought up to me about the solar and the fact that the facilities are attached to the land, so it's combined as one, so that all of that property comes all off of our tax roll and is now done through the utilities board. And we had not got any feedback as far as how much we were gonna get, if we were gonna get more, if we were gonna get less. And Jane has done the research on it. She was gonna send both Cindy and me information before Monday here, and I'm sure she got busy and didn't get around it, but we got that coming yet. And we should be just fine there.
Yeah, they were working on it, I know, last time I talked to her too, so.
Sure.
I know.
And then next week, I got a North Iowa Regional Housing Authority meeting, so.
Mark?
Well, I talked about safety committee, I had that, and of course WHW, and then I did have a chat with Jeff Heil last week, just kind of trying to get update on how this TIF was working, and we do have the ability to use what I don't know, call it leftover TIF or unused TIF, however you want to say. We got about $20 million roughly, so that's working in that 105 project should be doable. We just have to take the steps and do it right. You know, as far as
Amend our plan. Then.
yeah, we got to make sure it's in the plan, which it should be. I think.
I haven't.
Yeah, I know. We've got other roads over there that were, so, but like the Deer Creek Farm, that's still a couple, 3 years off down the line anyway, so that's a non-issue. Things will be progressing there as they need to be. We did have a chat, and I've always had this question, the original, I call it the Bristol Farm. And I believe that money is just rolling into the budget. And that's something that we're probably gonna want to address at some point and start rolling that out of the budget. Somebody should probably start rolling that into a fund, because at some point that's could possibly disappear if they don't rebuild it or whatever, repower or whatever. And, you know, everybody knows I have a contract in there, and we just renewed that a year ago, and they've done some updates, but they've kind of said that probably wouldn't repower them with bigger ones, but you never know. Right. You know, whether they tear it down and rebuild with, you know, less, just like say down a Ventura, that kind of situation, I don't know. But these are older towers, if they're unretrofittable or what, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that's something we need to be considering going forward is, you know, if it's 300,000-400,000 or whatever coming into the budget, and it's not just our budget, it's the schools, it's everybody here in North Iowa that's getting a portion of that.
Comes into the
Maybe you want to start thinking about that 15 years down the road. I mean, that's seems like forever, but you know, all of a sudden it could just be done.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're at budget time with a huge shortfall.
yeah, if you're running a tight budget anyway, and now $400,000 disappears, just kind of like the casino, we've talked about that. We probably should be putting a portion of that back into a fund like they originally did. We need to kind of get that figured out at some point, or this board does. So.
Right. No, I agree. That's so thinking now that TIF is done, and it's starting to roll back into.
Yeah, like the other, even the ones that are coming to, you know, full form, eventually that money will roll into the budget. I mean, and then it's the same token is what do? You just let it roll into the budget and you spend it, and then all of a sudden it disappears 10 or 15 years later. I mean, that's things that need to be addressed, and we can't also pile up a huge amount of money. We can't be doing that either. But,
right.
You know,
Well, you'd have to actually start first, though.
you have to start. I know. I'm just saying, but well, I mean, you could build it pretty rapidly. You start thinking of $1 million, even $500,000 in a couple of years. You know, you're sitting on a couple $1 million. I mean, that's not in today's fund, that's not a lot, but, you know, you can't just keep building that fund up
Well,
to no
it's-
ends.
Like a lot of things, you start living at that lifestyle
Right,
is what happens. And then you get to that point, all of a sudden, oh boy, I just lost my job. Now I'm down here again. Now you gotta change your lifestyle.
Well, we don't even keep enough balance to have 3 months of
reserve.
expenses.
I know it, and we need to change that.
But hopefully we'll get caught up sooner or later, you'd think, with this TIF money
I've
coming.
been here
Well,
8
TIF
years
money's
and
not
it's
being used for
just,
that, yeah.
we just skim by every time, it seems like.
We run everything tight and you run everything tight and that's just how it works. But I mean, that's just something in my head is I think that's something this board is gonna need to be addressing at some point.
Right.
You know, the longer you let it go, the worse it's gonna get.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then by that time,
Could be two or
some of
three
the
others.
the other farms are gonna come in at that same thing. Okay, now the TIF's up on those.
It'd be the
That's
same
still-
situation. You know, you're okay for a
Still-
few years,
Is it
but
still there? Is it, you know? Yeah.
anyway,
No, totally understandable. So that extra, or the 20 million that hasn't been utilized yet is just out from like everywhere,
some
multiple
of the other,
projects.
so there's four phases right now. I think Deer Creek being the fifth, if I'm right. So the three other phases, and I'm not sure where they're at on their levels of TIF and years without looking on the sheet, but
Right.
there's leftover money from those three phases.
That
from
has
what
not
Jeff
been
is- haven't been
used yet.
touched.
Okay.
That we could comfortably use a portion of it, you know, if they say there is 20 million and you want to stay at that no more than 65% or whatever, you know, those are things you have to throw into that equation too.
Some of it's sitting in our account.
Right, and some of it's sitting in our account, that's, we've talked about that before, do we just pay off debt and
Well,
redo?
That was
you know?
like the development. Do we
Yep, the same
just
thing.
pay for that and be done? But
Yeah.
we captured that money from there because there was some unused money out there too,
Right.
right? That's the way I understood that.
So, and Jeff would be happy to talk to us, and I mean, whoever, if we need to, you know, when we get to that point, when we have more time. Well, we'll have to do it, I mean, we're gonna have to do it before a certain point if we were gonna do it for 105, so.
Right. Well, maybe we should try to get a workshop with Jeff and Earl Nelson.
Yep.
Then, and get on the same
I
page.
think it ends up being, if it's TIF, it's still gonna be Chris.
I think Chris is taking some of that, is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he said it won't be Myrtle, it'll be.
Okay, well, well, then get Chris here and get him involved too, so that,
Get the steps taken.
Yeah.
So you do.
obviously, because we gotta do that for 105 no matter what.
Yep.
But at least we know the options there now, for sure.
Well, now when it's bid, at least then we'll know numbers and stuff like that, that we can move
Right.
forward with,
Yeah, we'll have all
and
that.
timing.
Yep.
Hopefully.
But like I say, that's the only thing that Jeff said, you just to make sure, we have to make sure that that portion of Highway 105 is in the project, you know, the area, the TIF area. And it should be, I mean, they've done A38 over there, they've done other roads, so hopefully it would be in there, in the plan. If not, we need them in the plan and get that done. So
Yeah.
Chris would help us with that.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
So that's all I had.
Okay. I just had the WHW meeting with you guys, and I didn't, meet with Jason Petersburg on Thursday and discuss all that stuff with him and the future out there. So I'll be working on that. Otherwise, that's all I had. We got mental health this week. Busy day today, so. Okay,
Spread out, busy day.
I don't believe there's anything else coming up that I'm aware of that needs to be added that we're all gonna be in. Well, if nothing else coming for the board, then I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All right, motion is second, all in favor, aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Means adjourned, thank you.
Sometime?
Yeah.
Okay.
What time is it?